Welcome to G Money Sports NFL Week 4. We got Ronan back again. Welcome back to the show, Ronan. It was a fun Week 3, a lot of fun games. It was a good Week 3. Excited for Week 4.
It was a good week for me. Not much for you.
It was okay for me. I had a very good college week, not a great NFL week, but it wasn't. I was really wrong on the Packers. That was my big mistake. I had multiple. I think I had 3 different bets on the Packers. So, on the 49ers, but I don't know. They might be for real. The Chiefs lost. That's great.
I know the Packers. I told you, bro.
I mean, yeah, you had it. You had the scoop. All right, let's get into Week 4 though. Starting off with your team, we got Cleveland going to Minnesota. Cleveland's 2-point favorites, and the over/under is 51.5. I'll let you talk about the Vikings.
Well, I mean, I think the only thing that matters in this game, the only thing that's going to decide if it's a blowout or a close game is the Vikings O-line. Because,
Myles Garrett's.
Just because of Myles Garrett after last game.
Yeah.
Just 4.5 sacks last game.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone on our O-line could, contain him, but, maybe double team him every time and hope. Just hope. I don't know, hope Cousins can get it off soon enough, but I think if they can hold Myles Garrett, then the Vikings could win.
But yeah, no, for sure.
Because the Browns secondary isn't anything to get too scared about.
No, their front seven's scary. Their secondary's average, but yeah, front seven's deadly. I love Cleveland. I love Cleveland this week. I think both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line, are just better than Minnesota, unfortunately.
I don't know about their O-line being better.
Their O-line's the best in the NFL. Why do you think Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt run so much?
Kareem Hunt's a beast, that's why.
I don't know. I love Cleveland. I think they're going to, unfortunately, dominate Minnesota for Ronan's sake, but could be wrong. We'll see. Especially coming off a win. Yeah. Coming off a win, I don't know. I feel like they might have a letdown spot here. We'll see. Moving on to Carolina at Dallas. Dallas is 4.5-point favorites. Over/under is 50.5. Dallas looked really good on Monday Night Football.
They did.
They looked really good. Carolina's 3-0. We're a big Carolina Panthers house. But we just kind of
the Panthers defense. I think they could hold up pretty well to the Cowboys. Pretty well. By that, I mean the Cowboys maybe put up 30, somewhere around there. It's 31.
Yeah, I just don't know. The Cowboys defense looked pretty good against Philadelphia. I don't know.
I'm telling you,
with Christian McCaffrey out, it's gonna be he's out this week. So
okay, yeah, they're gonna get.
Yeah, so I had Dallas minus 4.5. I think that's a pretty safe bet.
Yeah, that's a pretty safe bet.
Especially, I think Carolina's due for a loss at this point. 3-0 is a lot more better than people expected. So
if CMC's out, I'd say the under is looking pretty good too, at 50.5.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see Dallas putting up 40 and then Carolina putting up 70.
I think Dallas big this week, so yeah, 100%. Moving on to the big battle in the NFC West, you got the Cardinals traveling to Los Angeles. The Rams are 4.5-point favorites. Over/under is 55. Rams had a huge win last week against Tampa Bay.
The Rams are going to cover this.
The
Rams are going to cover this. The Rams are the best team in the NFL.
I don't disagree with that. I think they're really good. They're both sides of the ball too. Matt Stafford is just throwing all over the field. You got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun Jackson was a beast last week.
Deshaun Jackson.
That dude always comes back every few years and then just tears up the NFL for a year and then does some stupid shit and then
gets hurt or whatever.
He had 130 yards last game on 4 receptions.
Yeah.
He's just what is he? I think he's 35 now, but he's still can blow by D-backs.
He's so fast. I mean, he's due just for 3 catches and 100 yards every game.
Yeah, and then Robert was good on those out slant routes, and then Cooper Kupp is just a fucking slant god.
All over the place. He's been awesome.
Cooper Kupp is just so good off. I fucking love those guys that off the catch are just so good at breaking tackles. You'll never see Cooper Kupp get tackled by this first guy.
That's true.
He always has that spin move or just a juke move to get off a defender.
Yeah. I like the Rams as well. And the Cardinals, week 1, blew out the Tennessee Titans. Week 2, they probably should have lost to Minnesota. Week 3, they were down to Jacksonville. I like the Cardinals, but their defense hasn't played great.
Their secondary, I think them losing Patrick Peterson to the Vikings really hurt them a lot more than they're thinking. Because Pat Peterson was that like rock behind their secondary, and now they just have a bunch of young guys behind there.
Yeah, so I think Los Angeles at home they will cover.
J.J. Watt's also washed.
Yeah,
at this point.
He's way too old.
They made a lot of moves in their defensive end that just didn't work out for them. Even Chandler Jones is still.
He's good. I mean, he's 5 sacks week 1.
He's an animal. He can carry that whole defense.
So I think Cardinals do have a letdown spot this week. I have the Rams to cover. I have the over 55. I think Rams put up at least 35, 40 points. It's 297.5. And I have him.
Keeps going up like 20 yards each week.
I have his over for my player props. I just think he's going to light up the Cardinals. He's looked so good this year. Their offensive line was like the big question mark coming in the year, and they've
protected. I
mean, last week. I mean, the Bucs have a really good front seven, and they didn't get to him like barely at all. So, I think, it helps when the receivers are blazing fast and can get open pretty fast. But I don't know. I like the Rams a lot, and they cover pretty easily. Next game we got Seattle going to San Francisco, another matchup in the NFC West. San Francisco's 2.5-point favorites. Over/under is 52. Seattle coming off loss to the Vikings. Didn't look great. They also lost to the Titans the week before.
I like the 49ers in this one. It's just a case of really good defense versus good offense, and average offense versus horrible defense.
Yeah, their defense hasn't stopped. They just saw the Vikings last week. They didn't stop the Titans the week before.
I mean, it's going to be a close game, I think. I don't know if the 49ers will cover. I think it's going to be like maybe even a 2-point game or a 1-point game. But I think the 49ers come out with it at the end.
Yeah, I think coming off the Sunday night loss, I think they'll be ready. I kind of expect to see more Trey Lance this week. I think it's going to be the week that we see it all of him.
I hope. Jimmy G, he's good, but like I said it on Sunday, he's the worst quarterback on a good team.
Yeah, no, I mean, we'll see. I like San Fran to cover.
Shanahan's such good coverage, and their defense is always so good.
Yeah, I like San Fran to cover. I like the under as well. I don't think Seattle's been. I don't think their offense is very good this year. Their offensive line hasn't held up. The last 2 games, they scored.
Chris Carson has been kind of disappointing this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I thought he was going to be like a top 3.
Plus, Tyler Lockett went out last week. I don't know. He might not. He'll probably play, but I think he's going to be kind of lingering injury.
Yeah.
I like San Francisco.
DK has been really disappointing this year. He's not been.
All he can do is run straight. Moving on to Baltimore at Denver. Denver's -1. Over/under is 45. Yeah, I think we're both on Baltimore heavy this week.
I love the Broncos, but they're gonna get bent over this week.
They haven't played anyone yet.
No, they haven't. Their first 3 opponents are 0-9 right now.
Yeah,
so they're
all you know. I don't think.
I could see them putting up a little bit of a battle, but that's a +1, so it's easy. That's an easy cover right there.
100%. I think we're both pretty locked in on that one. Might even be my lock this week. Baltimore money line. We'll see. I don't have an official one yet.
Well, it's not even that much better because it's still minus.
Yeah, it's like -105 for the money line. So, but Baltimore. This screams. They came off like a disappointing week. Justin Tucker obviously made that huge field goal, but they shouldn't have been close to the line.
Did you see that Madden changed his overall rating to 99?
He deserves it. If any kicker deserves it, it'll be him. But yeah, I think Baltimore covers that spread pretty easily.
Yeah.
Moving on to Pittsburgh at Green Bay. Green Bay is 6.5-point favorites. Over/under is 45.5. Green Bay looked really good last week. Aaron Rodgers.
I like the over on this game. I think that's the only thing I'd bet.
I do like the over. Yeah, I think Steelers' defense hasn't been as good as they were last year. Packers defense, they held up.
They held up last week. They're very inconsistent.
And also,
they're very inconsistent against good offenses, and I think the Steelers can still be classified as a good offense because they still.
They not look good.
Deontay Johnson's back this week.
I don't know. They just have not looked good in any game this year. The first game they beat the Bills, and one of those they had 20 points. One of them was off a defensive touchdown. Last week they only put up 10 against Cincinnati at home, who doesn't have a great defense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't love their offense, so I'm also putting it over though. Saying all that, I also like Pittsburgh to cover. 6.5 is just a lot. I think a lot of games are within that 6.5 range.
You never know with the Packers.
With their Steelers defense, the Packers sometimes takes their feet off the gas a little bit. I mean, they get up. I think Green Bay ultimately wins, but I think it's like a 3-4 point game.
Yeah.
Moving on to homecoming. Tampa Bay is going to New England. In case you guys didn't know, I'm sure you've all seen the commercials and it's all over social media. It's great. Tampa Bay is -7 favorites. Started at 5.5. It's already up to 7. Everyone's hammering Tampa Bay. Over-under is 49. I hate to say it, but I'm with the public. Buccaneers are going to destroy New England, especially coming off. If they would have beat the Rams last week,
The Bucs are pissed right now.
yeah, I think.
Like Brady is pissed off right now
Yeah,
because he just got handled by the Rams defense last week.
yeah.
Like Brady did not look like he did last week. He put up 400 yards, yeah,
He looked pretty good.
but he also threw
The
it.
defense was the
He
problem.
threw it 55 times.
They're down the whole game. He had to. The running attack wasn't getting any. That's the biggest problem right now. I think with the Bucs, they have no running attack. The running backs are all old. Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette both, I don't think, are the answer.
And dude, I don't know why they signed Giovanni Bernard.
Well, they only use him as a pass catching back.
Yeah, but he's still not good at that.
He had a lot of yards last week, a lot of catches. He gets over. He's quick. He's not very fast.
He's quick for
He's
how
quick.
old he is.
He's like James White kind of.
Yeah.
James White was never had like breakaway speed, but he's quick and he gets open on linebackers. So, but yeah, Tampa Bay is going to hammer New England. Mac Jones, he's the answer long term. I still stand by that. But in
He's
terms
not going to be able to handle going against Brady, bro.
this week, I don't love it. I mean, he struggled mightily with the Saints last week. 2 of the picks I don't think were on him. One of the picks was. They didn't play great. The offense just we're not clicking yet. The defense is playing pretty good, but I think Tom Brady's just come out and.
Oh, he's gonna kill. He's gonna be staring Belichick down in the field.
He's gonna want to put a 50 on the Patriots.
He's going to.
I don't think they put up 50. I think they'll probably put
I
up.
think they could put up 50.
Patriots have a better defense. People give them credit for. I will say, but I don't think the offense is gonna do many favors.
Secondary, I guess.
I could see a lot of 3 and outs for the Patriots offense and Tom Brady in good field position.
I can see just
-7.
The Bucs from 7 just like getting into Mac Jones.
Yeah, that -7. Even if it moves, I think anything less than 10, I'd probably take the Bucs.
Yeah.
Anything past 10, I'd probably just stay away, or maybe tease it a little bit. I don't know. Tom Brady's gonna come out and just be on fire. I'm already prepared for it, so
Yeah.
when the game happens, I won't even be disappointed. I just will have already accepted it. Monday night game this week, we've got the Raiders traveling to Los Angeles by the Chargers. Chargers are 3.5 point favorites, over under 52.5. So who would have thought coming in, Raiders first in the AFC West?
It's crazy.
3-0.
Chiefs last. Chiefs last.
Yeah, Chiefs are in last place. I do think this is the week they lose, though. I think they're going to lose. The Chargers are a really good football team.
The Raiders.
The Raiders will lose this week, I think, and I think the Chargers will cover 3.5. Raiders took the Dolphins, who were playing a backup quarterback and who aren't that good, I don't think, to overtime. They didn't look great last week. 2 weeks ago, obviously they beat the Steelers pretty handily in week 1, obviously beating the Ravens.
Yeah.
But I think
it's definitely a week they lose.
this is the week they lose, and I think Chargers cover at 3.5. I really like that line actually a lot. Might be my lock too. I don't know. I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. But so yeah, love the Chargers on Monday. I think should be a pretty good game. Justin Herbert's looked awesome. I've been really impressed with Justin Herbert this year.
He's a beast. He definitely didn't sophomore school.
No, and people had really high expectations coming into the year of him, and I think he's kind of met those expectations for sure. So then we'll go into our cards. I have 3 picks on this Thursday night game tonight. This is coming out on Friday, so I won't read those off though. I have Dallas -4.5 versus Carolina, Cleveland -2 at Minnesota. I like Buffalo -16 versus Houston. Houston's still starting Davis Mills, and he did not look good against Carolina. And Buffalo's killed. They killed the Dolphins 2 weeks ago, and they killed Washington, who has Chase Young and those dogs on defense. So I think they're hitting their stride. 16-point spreads are trying to scare you away from taking Buffalo, but I'm not scared away by it. I think they would cover pretty easily. If they lose by less than 20, I'll be surprised. I like Clyde Edwards-Helaire over rushing yards at 59.5 against the Eagles defense that got shredded by Zeke last week, who's, past his prime. Clyde Edwards-Helaire in a loss put up 100 yards rushing against the Chargers very quietly. So really like his over at 59.5. I think that's really low. Plus, I expect him to be up early against the Eagles. They're lost the last 2 games. They're not going to lose another one. They're going to be up. I think they run the ball a lot. Chicago-Detroit, taking under 42. I think Dan Campbell has a really good defense right now. They shut down the Ravens last week for a majority of the game. Obviously, we saw Chicago was just a mess on offense. But Chicago still has a good
– with 1 passing yard.
And they played pretty good against the Browns' offense. It's really good. So I like them to hit that under. I think it's going to be like a 10-17 game, something like that. We got Washington -1.5 at Atlanta. Bounce back spot for Washington. I don't think they're as bad as they looked last week. I don't think Atlanta's good. I think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. So 1.5, I like that a lot. San Francisco, bounce back -2.5. Also under 52 in the San Francisco game. Baltimore +1 at Denver. I have the Baltimore-Denver under 45 because defensive battle, a lot of running. It'll be a fast game because both teams will just run the ball for a lot of the game. Rams -4.5 versus Arizona. Rams, Cardinals over 55. Matt Stafford over 297.5 yards passing. Pittsburgh +6.5 at Green Bay. Tampa Bay -7 at New England. And Chargers -3.5 versus the Raiders. What do you got?
I don't have that many picks this week, so I didn't really look at any of the player props. But start off with my lock of the week is the football team -1.5 because I think the Falcons are just horrible, and the football team is slept on in my opinion. Their defense.
They've had a tough schedule. They played the Chargers week 1.
They've had a real tough schedule.
They went to Buffalo last week. Those are tough games.
Their defense has been holding up against those teams too, to a good extent. And I think Taylor Heineke is good enough of a quarterback to get them way over that 1.5 mark against the Falcons.
The Falcons are bad.
Their defense is it doesn't even make sense how bad.
Matt Ryan's arm looks really bad too. He's definitely.
He's old. Matty Ice.
He's not
Matty Ice is not Ice anymore.
No.
I like Lions money line.
Lions money line.
Against the Bears.
Dan Campbell.
I think Dan Campbell is not going to go 0-4. There's not a chance he goes 0-4. He's too pissed off.
Yeah.
Plus, I think the Bears are just. I don't know. I just don't know. I think they're gonna rush. They're gonna be rushing Andy Dalton back from his injury this week. He's gonna get hurt, and then probably put Justin Fields in. And then he's gonna.
Yeah, they're a mess.
Did last week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Justin Fields could still be a good quarterback in this league, but he is just not being surrounded with anything.
Well, their offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL, so it's not.
And Matt Nagy's their coach.
And Matt Nagy's a terrible coach. That game plan was just. It was the weirdest thing. Justin Fields, everyone's talking about, and even in the preseason, he showed how fast he is. They didn't do anything to show off his legs. They set him back in the pocket and said, "Hey, just read the defense and make precision throws." That's not what he does.
The only receiver he has on there is Allen Robinson. He was open maybe half the time. And then they barely tried to run any screen routes to Montgomery, who is the biggest talent on their offense right now.
They didn't do anything to win that game. It was just it was sad to watch, honestly.
Yeah. Then I have Titans -7.5
against the Jets.
Yeah,
it's the Jets.
Yeah, so Jets beat the Jets.
Jets beat Jets.
Plus the Titans' offense is just.
Derrick Henry's gonna have a day, I think. Unless they get up really big.
It'll be October.
Yeah. Unless they get up really big and they decide to put the backup in to save his legs a little bit. It might happen. I don't know. We'll see.
Then I have Colts plus 1.5. I like the money line too.
I like that one. Who they playing again?
They're playing a team that I was surprised that they were plus 1.5. I gotta start writing down who they're playing.
I had that one on my card and I took it off for some reason. They are playing the Dolphins at Miami.
I just don't think the Dolphins.
Yeah, and Jacoby will be playing again. Jacoby Brissett. I think the Colts, they looks like they were going to win that game against Los Angeles. People forget week 2. They were up, and then Carson Wentz goes down, and then they bring in Jacob Eason, and he throws a pick on the chance to win the game. So I don't think they're as bad as they've looked. They're not 0-3 team. They're better than that.
I mean, I think it all depends on. I think they're still going to win no matter what, but I think they'll handle the Dolphins if Jonathan Taylor and Wentz are healthy by Sunday. Because right now they're still questionable in their injury report, but I think if they're both like near 100%, then they're going to handle the Dolphins easily because their defense is their defense is insane, and their offense is good enough, better than the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins' defense is insane too, but the Colts have a slightly above average offense with Jonathan Taylor back there.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna add that one back to my card. I like that.
And then I have Ravens plus 1.5, and I like their money line. I just think they're gonna win. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be easy for them. Then Rams minus 4.5. Who are they playing again?
Cardinals.
Yeah, they're gonna handle the Cardinals. It's not even gonna be close. 49ers money line. I just think the 49ers are gonna.
Yeah, I think so. I think the Seahawks. There's all that talk about Russell Wilson wanting out of Seattle. I don't know if I think it's been showing. He doesn't look as good as he has been the last couple of years. I think there's something weird going on in Seattle. So yeah,
I just think I don't know. I've never liked Pete Carroll, so this is awesome for me to watch.
He gets hyped up because he won a Super Bowl, but I don't think that was all on him. I think.
Well, he also lost in the Super Bowl, so I think it's kind of a plus one, minus one thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Where he could very well have 2 just by calling a different play.
Calling a run play. As a Patriots fan, that was awesome. I'll just say that. But that drive, they were getting like 5, 6, 7 yards every single time they were in the ball.
They have beast mode, who at the time was maybe the most. He was the Derrick Henry of that time.
He was. It doesn't make sense. Still would never make sense, but.
And Marshawn Lynch was even faster off the break than Derrick Henry is.
Yeah, no, he's not as tall and long, so he's a good short yard back as well.
And then I have Chargers plus 3.5.
Minus 3.5.
Minus 3.5. My bad. But yeah, I think Chargers are definitely going to win.
Yeah, Chargers have impressed me this year. So that's our NFL Week 4 show. We'll have those picks out for you soon, and thanks for watching.